Everyone, Ment here, doing another little Roy Nichols live lesson on talking about embellishing the melody. If you couldn't tell, that was the melody to Silver Wings, using a bunch of little Roy Nicholisms and some extra little things I've heard in some of the different recordings of this tune that they've done. We're going to be in the key of E, and we're going to kind of work through what I just did there. I played a lot just playing the melody, obviously, but then I added some different types of bends. I added some augmented type of chords, and I added some different chords in between. So if you're following along with your guitar, key of E, and we've got this first part of the melody, just strictly E pentatonics. And I'm just really trying to milk it, give it a little vibrato. And that's, and you know, do that kind of thing. He would often do that a lot. Just kind of bounce between two notes. So you've got, you know, something really basic to start off with, quoting the melody. So what I'm doing there, this is over the F sharp minor chord. If you're not familiar with the song, it's the 2 minor, and I'm just playing. I'm thinking like E pentatonics, but then I'm taking that F sharp and bending it up to the 9, and then releasing it. So you get this kind of sound, which is really pretty. So you have. And again, really milking it and bringing it slowly down. Then when I get to the B chord, so just walking down, F sharp, F, E, D, up to the D sharp, and then you can go something like that, or if you want to give it a bend like that. Any kind of half step bend or whole step bend into it is really kind of getting in that Roy vibe. So the first kind of chorus I did, if you're just joining, really basic stuff. We're about to add some more Roy where it won't seem as fast, but as I'm going through it. But this is what we've got. This. Here comes the F minor or F sharp. So that's the first time through. Now we're going to do the same type of chords again. There's same changes, but the change between the F sharp and the B at the end of the phrase is shorter. So the way I kick this off, if you've listened to the live record, I believe it's Live in Philadelphia with Merle Haggard and the Strangers, Roy kicks off his solo to Every Fool Has a Rainbow with this augmented chord kind of lead-in thing. It totally twisted my ear. And it goes like, it's something like this. Like that. What does it say? Oh. So you've got this. And what I'm doing here, I'm playing out of a B augmented chord. What that is we've got a D sharp, we've got a G, a B, and a D sharp. So the quick and easy way to figure out a augmented type of chord is take your 1, 3, and 5 of the chord and just raise the 5th. So if this is a normal B chord, B, F sharp, B, D sharp, the 5th would be the F sharp. So just raise that up. So if we take any kind of like triad we have, so instance, I'm playing out of this B triad, I just raise the 5th. Just apply that to all of your triads. I won't break all of that down, but that's the idea of it. So what I'm doing is just playing up it, right? And if I didn't go back to an E chord, that's what I do. But if I do go back to an E chord, it sounds like so, right? But what I'm doing is I'm going to bend the C up to a C sharp, so I can get the 13 sound against the E. So that's the sound I'm getting now. So I've got this. Then I just release it right back down. And that's something that's very Roy-esque outside of the augmented thing, but again, take your half step to the note you wanna bend up to and just, and then I release it right back down to the B. And just this nice kind of fluid motion. So then let's go backwards. So that's kind of what I would play with. Take your augmented chords and see how you can bend in and out of it. It's a really cool thing you can do. You can do the G sharp up to the A and back down. Experiment, that's the best way to do it. You could also do it in double stops, which is something you can hear him do in some of his own recordings. So that's the first part of kind of what I did. So let me play up for those just joining real quick up to where we have this is all over the E. Over the F sharp minor. Over the B. Now back to the E. So that's my next phrase that I kind of stole from him. And some other guys, like Red Volkart, he's definitely lifted that and put that into his playing too. And all it is we're trying to go really simply E minor, or excuse me, E up to F sharp minor. And so the easy way of making that transition and connecting those two chords is throwing a diminished chord in between them. So this diminished chord is just an F diminished. So depending on how you see that, for me, I know that I have an F kind of diminished chord right here. So all I'm doing is thinking of the arpeggio, all minor thirds. So F, minor third, minor third, minor third, and now I'm into F sharp. So depending on how you finger it, you could, like that. You don't even have to start on F. There's all sorts of different ways of getting from the diminished to the F sharp minor. So either one works great. So you got here comes the diminished. Right? And that falls right into that F sharp minor chord. So bridge your chords by half steps with that diminished thing. That will really help. The last thing I did, now I've never heard Roy do this, but if you listen closely in the background of the original recording off of A Portrait of Merle Haggard, you can hear the band going F sharp minor, or whatever key they're in, D, and back up to B. And so what's happening there is we've got the 2 minor chord, and we're trying to target, basically, there's a lot of ways to get here, but what the simple way is we're trying to move in half steps to get to this D sharp, the third of the B. So F sharp minor, we got to travel somehow to get to this. And the best way to voice lead is by half steps. So if we look at all these notes, for the F sharp minor chord, they're all the same of D except for the C sharp. And the D chord happens to have a D in it, right? So that's how that works. We just add the D, and then voila, we're into a B. So that is something that there's a lot of different ways of viewing that, but half step up to the B is a great way of doing that. So from this diminished idea, I did that, and then in the original I went, I just played up the D chord. It's super melodic and it works great, and so I added the bend at the end. So D, F sharp, A, D, half step up to D sharp, and then to E. So now you've got this very rich second time through the progression. So again, that's a lesson in itself. Take the melody basic at first and then build up to something in the second. So you've got in the second half of the Silver Wings changes. And you're back to E. So if we just did that in chords, you've got E, so on and so forth, and then F sharp minor to B. Now with the chords in between, you got E, so on and so forth, and then we're going to do the diminished. That's the F diminished, just the half step between E and F sharp. Comes back down to the F sharp minor. Then we put in the D. It's the half step again to B. And that's all it is. So if you look at it at first by the half steps, I think that makes it, one, it get into your ear better. But two, it simplifies like what everything is going on in it. Then look at it later of like the theory or stuff behind the chords. And then at the end of it, I just did a kind of a Roy Nichols thing. I'm pretty sure he stole it from Eldon Shamblin. Heard him do it quite a bit. You just take the major 7 of whatever key you're in and just walk down chromatically. This is a phrase he plays on the instrumental version of Every Fool Has a Rainbow in the Strangers album. He does this thing, we resolve like we went. Just kind of a nice ending. And it also kind of gives a lift for the next soloist or the next verse or whatever it is, of like a quick little like 5 chord, right? Because you're playing all the B 5 chord stuff. So all together, taking the melody and then embellishing it with some of these Royisms and just general Merle Haggardisms, I guess, too. You got something like this. Silver Wings in the key of E. To the F sharp minor. To the B. Now to the second time. And there you have it. The next soloist is ready. So take those ideas of playing in between the chords, adding some augmented ideas to your chords. Remember, that's just taking the triad and raising the 5th. And use a bunch of pre-bends and bends, because that's really what I think is the essence of Roy's playing. Taking all those ideas and just putting them all together. If you got any questions, please shoot me a message here. And as always, this is just a fragment of what I have in my lead guitar style of Roy Nichols course. Takes all these things and some more kind of Roy Nicholisms and really fleshes them out for you in 4 sections. If you're interested in that, I can throw you a coupon code here. Just use all caps Lonesome Fugitive at checkout, and you'll get 15% off or so like that. The link's in the bio. As always, appreciate the support. See you next time.